Hey guys, TGKS Productions. So we got some awesome news today regarding the definitive edition, the GTA Trilogy, which is GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. And that we got a lot of information. It includes a release date for when we'll be able to play these games or the definitive edition of them. And that is going to be November 11th, as we can see right here before even entering the article. So that is really cool. And one thing I want to talk about real quickly is because I'm making this video a little bit later, which I apologize for, I just had a really hectic day. I saw a lot of people disappointed with the GTA trilogy or the definitive edition of it. And, I think mainly comes down to like the graphics or the look of the game. Keep in mind that I don't think anybody really should have had the expectations that these would look like this would have like GTA 5 graphics. And there's a sentence I actually want to take from the first article that we got a couple weeks ago from Rockstar that I would say really screams or says to everybody that, yeah, this isn't going to have GTA 5 graphics, but it's going to have enhancements. This is the sentence here. The Definitive Edition will feature across the board upgrades, including graphical improvements and modern gameplay enhancements for all three titles, while still maintaining the classic look and feel of the originals. So I get in this sentence here, it talks about modern gameplay enhancements for all three titles. And we'll talk about what that means there. That definitely doesn't mean graphics. But really, what's important from the sense it says, while still maintaining the classic look and the feel of the originals. That right there really should have told everybody that this isn't going to have like GTA 5 graphics, but it's going to have, it's going to have enhancements. There's no doubt about that. It's going to look better. It's going to look, uh, I guess, more modern in a way, using more modern technology, but it's not going to, look like GTA 5. On top of that, if anybody should be disappointed with Rockstar, and I know a lot of people are disappointed with this also, is the expanded enhanced version of GTA 5 and GTA Online. We've gotten like no new news for the past year regarding uh, that the E&E version of GTA 5 GTA Online, besides it really being delayed until March of 2022. And with the GTA trilogy, the definitive edition, we've got news for this trilogy literally within like 3 weeks of each other, 2, 3 weeks of each other, and a release date, and it's going to be releasing in a couple weeks from now, a few weeks from now, a couple weeks. I think Rockstar did a pretty good job with the trilogy. Really, the expanded enhanced version of GTA 5 GTA Online is really where we need to, I think, really criticize Rockstar there. But anyways, let's go ahead and check out this article here on the Rockstar Newswire. So we see Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Definitive Edition coming November 11th. So that's the release date as we stated. And the first thing I actually want to look at here is the trailer. So let's go ahead and check that out here, and then we'll look at the article. So let's go ahead and check out this short trailer for the GTA Trilogy. Starting off here, we got CJ Johnson, San Andreas, see foliage updating there, as we'll see in the article.
I got a little job for
you. Right, got a GTA 3 scene of Subway. Some Vice City scenes. Great scenery right there. Vinewood sign.
Glad to see things back to
Some
where they
Grove Street's family. Oh, I think that's Lost Venturis right there. Claude driving. GTA 3. No Ken Rosenberg's to the right there. I forget who the guy in the middle is. CJ Johnson. Claude. Oh, there's Salvatore Leone. Crime boss of the Leone family. Got CJ with his brother and sister, and we end with a GTA 3 chump there. Yeah, scenes are coming off very quickly, but I'm definitely excited for this trilogy nonetheless. All right, so let's actually get into really the meat and potatoes of the article, see what we're getting with the GTA trilogy. So right here we have it's coming November 11th. I guess we may be able to get them individually at some point. I think it's just the trilogy with all three of them coming November 11th, which we'll see the price. The price actually is $59.99. There's that. So, and then we have all the like platforms we're going to get it for. So, like, PlayStation, the PlayStations like 4 and 5, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, um, Xbox One. So there we go there. So let's go ahead and check this out. So we have the iconic cities, 3 epic stories, 1 definitive collection. Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Definitive Edition includes the genre-defining Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas together, each one enhanced for a new generation and available together for PlayStation 5. And that just goes into what it's available for again, as we looked at above. And we also have Grand Theft Auto the Trilogy. The Definitive Edition will be available digitally on November 11th through the PlayStation Store, the Microsoft Store, Xbox, Nintendo eShop, and the Rockstar Games launcher. The physical release for Xbox Series X and X, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PlayStation 4 on December 7th. Now, one thing I found interesting here was they didn't mention PlayStation 5. I don't know if that was a typo or there's just not going to be one for PlayStation 5. We got the Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, but we only have PlayStation 4. So I don't understand where PlayStation 5 is in that. Um, yeah, I'm like I said, I don't know if that's just a typo. That would seem a little weird. There wouldn't be one for PlayStation 5. I don't just seem yeah, I don't get that. So we have a really nice shot here of GTA 3. So there we go. Got the I guess that's like considered the subway there. And then we have, okay, so let's go ahead. Experience games that started all, including unprecedented freedom and immersion through 3 living, breathing worlds filled with hilarious action, rich cinematic storytelling, classic characters, and unforgettable music. Definitely something that I'd say is sort of missing these days is or we at least in general we haven't had a really nice story in a long time. I don't know if the GTA 5 story was the best. I think the best part of GTA 5 was just being able to utilize 3 characters. That was extremely groundbreaking for the GTA series. But the story wasn't necessarily as I would say as impactful as these stories. I think these ones were a little more interesting. Bring the classic worlds of Liberty City, Vice City, and San Andreas to modern platforms. Grand Theft Auto the Trilogy Definitive Edition debuts new GT5 inspired modern controls, plus across the board visual enhancements such as resolution upgrades and improved visual fidelity across the world, and much more to faithfully tune and improve upon the 3 games while also maintaining their distinct original aesthetic. So, again, look, we're talking about, they want to have these visual enhancements, resolution upgrades, improve fidelity across the world, but they also want to maintain their distinct original aesthetic, as we sort of seen in the first article as they talked about. So I think players just took the expectations a little bit too far. So we have a nice shot of Vice City here. So we have the Grand Theft Auto the Trilogy Definitive Edition introduces wide-ranging modern control upgrades, including improvements to targeting and lock-on aiming, updated weapon and radio station wheels. That's nice. I mean, it was kind of annoying flipping through the radio stations and trying to find the weapon in these older games. You had to pretty much keep scrolling until you found which. I think it was like usually like the D-pad or something like that. To keep scrolling to find the weapon or the radio station you wanted. This will make it a lot more accessible. So that's sort of what they meant by in the first article when they talked about like modern controls. So that's what they were talking about there. So we have updated mini maps with enhanced navigation, allow players to set waypoints, destinations, updated achievements. We saw that there's tons of new achievements for all 3 of these games, or the trilogy in general, trophies and more. The Nintendo Switch version also features Switch-specific controls, including gyro aiming, as well as touchscreen camera zooming, pans, and menu selections. While the PC version includes support for NVIDIA, DLSS, and additional new components via the Rockstar Games Social Club. All right. Additional enhancements across all 3 titles include a completely rebuilt lighting system, improved shadows, weather, and reflections, upgraded character and vehicle models, along with new higher resolution textures across buildings, weapons, roads, interiors, and more. Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Definitive Edition also features a range of environmental upgrades, including all new foliage, smoother surfaces, and increased draw distances to provide a new level of depth and clarity throughout the world. So we saw, like, as far as the foliage, I noticed that right off the bat with the beginning of the trailer with CJ out sort of in the desert there, and you could just see the difference with the foliage, with the plants, very noticeable. And then we got San Andreas here, we got Los Santos or San Andreas. And then here, this is sort of ending this part of the article. There's a little bit more after this, though. Originally developed by Rockstar Games, Grand Theft Auto the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition has been adapted to modern platforms by Grove Street Games using Unreal Engine to make these classics more vibrant and more immersive than ever, celebrating the legacy of the series that redefined interactive entertainment and helped propel video games to the center of culture. Stay tuned to the Rockstar Newswire for more. Check out the brand new site for the Grand Theft Auto Trilogy, the definitive edition. So, real quick, the Grove Street Games is sort of specializes in enhancing important video games from third-party developers to newer platforms. And essentially, this would have been like when they took like GTA 3, San Andreas, I think Vice City, or I think it was Vice City, Liberty City Stories, and they put them on iOS, like Chinatown. So they're involved with the enhancement and porting, I guess you could say, of the definitive edition trilogy. So that's cool. And then we also have players will also be able to experience Grand Theft Auto San Andreas Definitive Edition with Xbox Pass starting November 11th. So that's for Xbox players. Grand Theft Auto 3 Definitive Edition will be available on PlayStation now starting December 7th. So that's for PlayStation players. And plus, expect to see more fun and special surprises celebrating the 20th anniversary of Grand Theft Auto 3 and GTA Online, like this week's bonus baseball bat T commemorating GTA 3's most memorable melee weapon. And we've already saw like the typeface T the last event week, and I know there was like advertised in the first article. They talked about the definitive edition of the trilogy. There was a wasted tea, and we've also have a livery as well. We got this week the Space Ranger livery for the Comet S2, so that's cool. But let's also check out the brand new site for the GTA trilogy, as we see right here. There's a couple things I want to look at. So on the new site here, we have the pre-order. Now the pre-order is $59.99 for pretty much all platforms. Trilogy. I'm not sure what they're all going to be separately or if they're going to be sold separately. I'm assuming just because they're coming separately for the Xbox Game Pass, as well as I think that's actually coming up soon, and then on December 7th, I think it was like GTA 3 for PlayStation. So I don't know. I guess they'll be separate as well, but at least the trilogy altogether is $59.99. And there's really only three things I want to look on this site because right here, this paragraph here pretty much just restates what we looked at. There's three main things I wanted to read to you guys here that really wasn't looked at on the first page or article. First thing is here is we have improved gunplay and targeting controls with upgraded drive-by controls. Actually, it's not what I wanted to look at. A G5 style controller layout. That's what I wanted to look at. So that's the first thing. So we're gonna have a little bit different controls, different feel when you're playing the game. I like that just because I think when you're going back and forth between like what the old controls like, and then for those like GT for the especially like GT Online players, I think that just kind of gets a little bit maybe confusing. At least it's a nice transition, even for Red Dead players, because it's similar. And also we have here the ability to immediately restart a failed mission. Great, that is awesome. I remember the mission where when you're with Big Smoke, you're trying to jump onto the damn train. He's like, "All you had to do was follow the damn train, CJ." Yeah, that mission when you have to constantly go back and talk to Big Smoke, it's annoying. At least now you could just restart the mission right then and there, just like you can with GTA 5. So happy with that. The last thing I want to look at here is we have 4K resolution support with up to 60 frames per second performance for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X systems. Awesome. I think that's one thing that players are very interested in is, what is going to be like the specs for this, and we have some information on that. Now, I wish we should have had these specs for we should already had specs for GTA 5 Expand and Enhance. GTA Online, GTA 5 Expand and Enhance. We should have already had specs for that, and we haven't. And we literally have specs for this within what 2-3 weeks of this being confirmed as an actual thing, the GTA 5 Trilogy Definitive Edition. So yeah, I mean, just goes to show how neglected the Expand and Enhance version is. GTA 5, GTA Online. Right here, just pretty much a little snippet here from San Andreas. So there we go. And then if we scroll down here, we actually have some artwork from all the games here. This is GTA 3. We actually saw that earlier. And then here's down here. We have got the flamethrower there. Police chase. Then we get into Vice City. There's Tommy Vercetti, some shots at him. And then we get down into San Andreas, CJ Johnson, some of the Grove Street members. I think Ryder's right there, Sweet Big Smoke. So yeah, and that is pretty much the end of the news that we got. Again, I'm personally excited. I know a lot of other people aren't. I think just because of the mere fact they just had their expectations way higher than they should have. But I'm definitely excited to get back to these games because it's been years since I played them. I honestly forgot a lot of the stories, and I really want to go back and play them again to refresh them in my mind. But as always, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you find it extremely beneficial. Please, if you like, subscribe, share it. As always, have a great day.